Celtics win over the Miami Heat. My takeaway is I felt like Boston was the better team. Every single one of their starters got a vote for all defense. They did something well. Miami doesn't do anything particularly well. They're a very good defensive team, but Tyler Hero's not. Duncan Robinson's not. They don't have a second real scorer. A lot of this success is built on playing well at home, great coach, excellent culture, and Jimmy Butler's a complete baller. But in the end, they didn't have a dependable second scorer. And once Tyler Hero, sixth man of the year, has a groin issue, it felt like the team never had the offensive firepower. I thought Friday, as an 8.5, 8-point favorite, Boston losing was a jaw-dropping loss for a franchise. And I think it points out what Boston is. They're not a great team. As I was watching this tonight, when Boston goes on their runs, great teams, Jordan's Bulls, the Showtime Lakers, the Shaq Kobe Lakers, the Durant Warriors, the Heatles. When great teams go on these NBA runs, 16-2, and it's lightning fast, and the game's over. A 5-point lead becomes 20. Boston can dominate you because they're so capable defensively. They can dominate you for 7 minutes, over half a quarter, and they go on a 10-2 run. Because if Tatum's not hot, you have to depend on Jaylen Brown. Marcus Smart was very good offensively in this game, but that's a dicey proposition. He's a great defensive player. He's a hit-and-miss offensive player. And in the two games, he was great offensively. Tonight and in game 2, Boston wins the game and controls the game. But, he'll have 1 or 2 of those against the Warriors. He's not going to have 4 against the Warriors, and that's why Golden State likely wins the series. They just have far more players capable of dropping 20 to 24 points. But Boston's one of those teams. They're not a great team. They're a good team. They do something really well defensively. They're very, very strong. But they can't put you away. They do in the regular season. They were second in the NBA, I think, to Phoenix in blowouts. Once you get to the postseason, better coaching, better teams, Boston can win games. They can control games. But it mostly feels like they allow teams to stay close. I felt Boston was the better team 5 minutes into this game, maybe 3 minutes into this game. But they're just not gifted enough offensively to even put away a banged-up, fairly average Miami team. Lowry looks washed. Hero's hurt. They're not playing Duncan Robinson. Bam is a great defensive player. He's not a scorer, especially when Robert Williams is on the floor. So, and Jimmy Butler is a scorer, but he's not a great offensive player. He's just a great athlete, and he's, he averages 21 a game in the regular season. He's not Luka. He's not Tatum. He's not Giannis as a scorer. So the fact that Boston was struggling, even in many of the wins in this series, to kind of put Miami away, I think that's the problem. And when you couple that with the fact that they've not won a title yet, so you could see Boston getting really tight with about 4 or 5 minutes to go. And that's what young teams feel like and play like when they've yet to get that title. So even if Boston would outplay Golden State in this series, if the games are reasonably close, the experience advantage the Warriors have, they've been in so many big series, so many big games, so many finals. I just think it's too much for Boston to overcome. I think Boston could slightly outplay the Warriors and lose in 6 because they would blow 2 games. If Miami had shooters, they wouldn't get tonight's game. They had multiple open looks in the last 6 minutes of this game and just could not hit it. It was like both teams were trying to give the game away. That's just not what you're going to get with the Warriors. So I think the Celtics were the better team here. What they do well defense, Miami doesn't do anything that well. Miami, though, it was a pretty weak number 1 seed, and they fell apart physically in this series. And the fact it was so hard for the Celtics to put them away just speaks to their inexperience winning big series. So I do think it's the most competitive matchup possible, Celtics-Warriors. A coastal matchup. It'll get good numbers, 2 big brands between Curry, Tatum. You're talking about great players. I think this is the series the NBA deep down wanted. It's the series I wanted. I just didn't think Miami matched up at all with the Warriors. So here we go. I'll take the Warriors in 6. I think Boston, though, has some size advantages. I think you're going to see a little bit of a chess match. My favorite coach in the league is Spoelstra. Steve Kerr's probably second. And I think what'll be interesting to watch is Golden State, because they're so explosive offensively and so dynamic, their defense is underrated. They could throw 4 different looks on 4 different possessions. Boston's going to have some moments where they really struggle offensively in this series. And the Warriors will have them because Boston is so good. But you watch the Celtics have some dry spells in this series. If Marcus Smart's not hitting, look at how difficult the Warriors made it for Luka. It's not that Luka didn't get his points, but he wasn't nearly as efficient. They're going to try to put Andrew Wiggins on Jayson Tatum and just say, bring down his field goal percentage. And then you cross your fingers and you hope you get some Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown nights where they can carry you. I don't see it happening.